Gotta be cool. Why like a serpent, they can't watch my moves. I be on all the things that they can't do. I be trying every day. He to be all on me, get out my face. Whoa. I gotta be cool. Why like a serpent, man, that's how I move. They be on my back like, can I move? Look, man, that's how I move.
Take your time and get the breakdown. Every doctrine, every lesson got a precept. What you waiting on? You need a damsel in distress to put your cape on. Need me to spot you some change to use the payphone. Only the elect is called. This is a collective call. I need you to correct me when I'm going off. See everything in writing. Picking up the pen and let the Holy Spirit guide you. Israel, what I'm scribing. Wolf in sheep clothing got you tidy. Pressure bust pipes to make diamonds. We in Sierra Leone, call it perfect timing. Wise as a serpent and ferocious as a lion. Still gotta be cool.
Why like a serpent, they can't watch my moves. I be on all the things that they can't do. I be trying every day. He to be all on me, get out my face. Whoa. I gotta be cool. Why like a serpent, man, that's how I move. They be on my back like, can I move?
Yeah.
Look, man, that's how I move.
This is how I move. Fringes on my garment. Israel on my name tag, me and my Bible play tag. Truth gon' make that smile sad. You a dog in God's eyes, slavery gon' make that tail wag. They think they in control like crash dummies, no airbags. Swing low, sweet chariots, damn, now I got jet lag. Mock at your calamity like music to my ears. Call this track, yo, agony. Israel united in Christ, Prophet Academy. Fake friends make fake bonds. Serpents crawl like napalm. Nothing to a snake killer, cause I stay calm like James Bond. Giving out laws like hotcakes, blowing your face like mail bombs. All teeth for the smile fakes.
Gotta be cool. Why like a serpent, they can't watch my moves. I be on all the things that they can't do. I be trying every day. He to be all on me, get out my face. Whoa. I gotta be cool. Why like a serpent, man, that's how I move. They be on my back like, can I move? Look, man, that's how I move.
I gotta be cautious, the world lawless. See, they want Rovers and Porsches, I want the Starship. Caesar board running them up, he in my target. We on the block, making it hot, fire department. Honking, oh you can shake like it's Harlem. Them garments like jerseys, my jewel is set ballin'. The court, we on highways and hedges giving the message. This gospel gon' bubble, my jewel, the effervescence. Put God first, we gon' stand for the law. We have manacles on, now tabernacling the John. Ooh, my home, the flesh, no attacking the gods. This vernacular ours, the chosen people of God.
Gotta be cool. Why like a serpent, they can't watch my moves. I be on all the things that they can't do. I be trying every day. He to be all on me, get out my face. Whoa. I gotta be cool. Why like a serpent, man, that's how I move. They be on my back like, can I move? Look, man, that's how I move.
to the dedicated. Educate the masses on the actions that's practiced against my federation. Say they attack us in factions for the slightest infraction. Then they say, oh, that's the past when they hurl hate. The media, they harass us, showing dissatisfaction at the way we gaining traction on the world stage. What you thought? We was about to struggle through the same thing? Never have the courage or power to ever change things. The spirits that's inside us is fighting to rearrange things. Breaking free the mind of the slave, so I remain king. Don't get it twisted, we the first ones chosen. And we've been chosen since the first words spoken. And we the purpose of the whole world. Notice, we omnipotent, watch the whole world. Notice, don't get it twisted, we the first ones chosen. And we've been chosen since the first words spoken. And we the purpose of the whole world. Notice, we omnipotent, watch the whole world. Notice, check it. But you ain't seen nothing yet. The valley of dry bones is coming to reconnect. Ain't suffer no Stockholm, we know how to recollect. The memory never faded, retained in our intellect. I'm a soldier, better yet a God in the flesh. Return to the living day, get your pronouns correct. Strong, stronger than ever, to watch me here to protect. Resurrected the sleeping giants, we cause the effect. We cause the nations to sweat, even when they try to deflect. They wanna see us as henpecked instead of a threat. But the threat is the black man showing love and respect to his people and building families through all his precepts. Don't get it twisted, we the first ones chosen. And we've been chosen since the first words spoken. And we the purpose of the whole world. Notice, we omnipotent, watch the whole world. Notice, don't get it twisted, we the first ones chosen. And we've been chosen since the first words spoken. And we the purpose of the whole world. Notice, we omnipotent, watch the whole world. Notice.
Shalom, shalom, Israel. Most High Christ bless. Shalom, shalom, shalom. I'm Captain Gannon to my left.
Soldier Key said.
All praise to the Most High. Happy Sabbath, y'all. Happy Sabbath, happy Sabbath. We tuning in for Deacon Laba. Hammer time. Hammer time. So all praises. Tonight's class, we going over whooping ass. Hey, this is one of my favorite topics, bro. Whooping ass is one of my favorite topics. Discipline kids, I love to whoop ass. But all praise to the Most High. What's tonight's class is called Discipline Your Children. Discipline your children. The reason why I thought about this, you hear stories about what's going on in the world and amongst Israel, the way we discipline our kids. I've heard stories like freaking metal rods. I don't know about y'all, ain't never been beat with a metal rod before. I've heard stories about, what's the other ones? Extension cords. I know you probably been beat with a extension cord before. Hey, if you Judah, you'd have been beat with a extension cord before. I'm just taking it right now. If you Judah, hey, when you say chocolates, you know what a kid, you know what a chocolate is. Tell you that thing right there can take over countries for real. So let's get right into it. Get Baruch chapter 4, and I want you to read verse 1. Hey, I want my turn this up, please. Get Baruch chapter 4. I want you to read verse 1.
The book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of God.
Go ahead.
And the law that endureth forever.
The law that endured forever. What that means is that the laws that we read in this book, in our history book that was written by our forefathers hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago,
The same way it stood when they wrote it by the inspiration of God, the same stands today in 2021. We must understand that. We cannot read the Bible and read a law or read a verse and say, oh, that's for that time. That ain't for this time. The law still stands today. All right, keep going.
All they that keep it shall come to life.
Go ahead.
But such as leave it shall die.
Such as leave this book of the law, you will die. You will die. When you're not going to make the kingdom, you will perish. Keep going.
Verse 2.
Go ahead.
Turn thee, O Jacob, and take hold of it. Walk in the presence of the light thereof.
Walk in the presence of the light. Go ahead.
That thou mayest be illuminated.
Be illuminated. Now, this illumination goes into many aspects of life, many aspects of your walk. In this instance, we're going over disciplining your children. And to be disciplining your children means you must be disciplining yourself. All right? The mother, the husband, the wife, or the father, whatever, you know, a lot of single parents out there, you must yourself be disciplined. That's how you teach your child discipline. And when your child is disciplined, your child will be illuminated. Why? Because God teaches you how to discipline your children. And through that discipline, your children will be illuminated. We're going to get into it. Keep going.
Give not thine honor to another, nor the things that are profitable unto thee to a strange nation.
Go ahead.
O Israel, happy are we, for things that are pleasing to God are made known unto us.
So we must understand what we're going to read tonight is pleasing to God. Yes, whooping your kid's ass is pleased. God is pleased of that thing. Hey, because this is what happens, right? A lot of parents, especially mothers, they don't want to touch spank my child. I love my child. Your child's a devil. I'm going to just be real with you. Your child's a demon. And we're going to read that too. We're going to read that too. Every child got devils and demons on them. We're going to read that too. But keep going. Keep reading.
Verse 5. Be of good cheer, my people.
Go ahead.
The memorial of Israel.
Watch this.
Ye were sold to the nations.
We were sold to the nations. We read that in Deuteronomy 28. We read in Joel, right? We were sold to the nations. Go ahead.
Not for your destruction.
Stop. God says we were punished not for our destruction. It's just like a parent punishes their child. You don't whoop your child. You don't put your child on timeout, whatever the hell you do to discipline your child. You don't do that to destroy them. God don't even do that. God said, I don't punish you to destroy you. Go ahead.
Not for your destruction, but because ye moved God to wrath.
Because we moved God to wrath and following other doctrines and following other religions and disobeying the commandments of God, right? Go ahead.
But because ye moved God to wrath, ye were delivered unto the enemies.
Ye were delivered unto the enemies. And what happened when we were delivered unto the enemies? Get that in Judith. This is what happens when we were delivered unto our enemies. Get Judith chapter 5. We're going to get right into it. 5 and 5. Let's get right into it. Hold on. Is that what I want? Is that it? Hold up. Wait a minute. I thought it was chapter 5, right? Let me see. Once they sent out for the God, they prepared because God had iniquity, but they departed. Is that what I want? Okay. Yep. Verse 20. Sorry.
The book of Judith, chapter 5, verse 20.
Go ahead.
Now, therefore, my Lord and governor, if there be any error in this people,
Go ahead.
and they sin against their God.
And that now this is another nation. Remember, we read in Baruch that we were sold to the nations, right? Not for our destruction, but because we moved God to wrath, we were sold to the nations. Read on.
Let us consider that this shall be their ruin.
Go ahead.
And let us go up, and we shall overcome them.
So these nations know that if we keep the Israelites, the blacks and Spanish and Native American Indians in sin, we going to overcome them every time. Go ahead.
Verse 21. But if there be no iniquity in their nation.
Be no iniquity If there be no sin, there be no transgression. Go ahead.
Let my Lord now pass by.
You better not mess with them Israelites. You better leave them alone. Go ahead.
Lest their Lord defend them.
Lest our God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, defend us. Read on.
And their God before them. And we become a reproach before all the world.
So these nations know that. Get Psalms 83. These nations know. As long as we keep the Israelites in sin, indoctrinated with other doctrines, as long as we keep their children from being prophets, as long as we keep their young daughters from being daughters of Sarah, let's teach them how to twerk. Let's teach them how to desire scammers, how to desire trappers over being a wife to a godly man. Right. Let's teach them how to look for bad boys, the gangsters and thugs. Let's teach them. Let's teach these young men that if you ain't nothing other than a rapper, a sports player, a dope dealer, you are nothing. Let's teach them that. Instead of telling them that it's okay to be a husband. That's a righteous thing. It's a righteous thing to lead your family. It's a righteous thing to show forth good works. It's a righteous thing. These nations know. Read that, Psalms 83.
The book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace and be not still, O God.
Go ahead.
For lo, thine enemies
Thine what?
Thine enemies.
Thine enemies. God has enemies. God has enemies. And if you hate God, you hate his people. Go ahead.
For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
Make a loud gathering. Go ahead.
And they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
They that hate thee have now become emboldened with pride, with strength. They that hate thee lift up the head. Go ahead.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
They have taken crafty counsel against God's people. They have taken crafty counsel. And we're going to show you some crafty counsel. Keep going. I'm going to look one up right now. Go ahead.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
Go ahead.
They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against thee. These nations come together. It's like we read in Judith 5. All these nations know that we must keep these Negroes and niggettes in sin. We must keep them doing what they ain't supposed to be doing. Because as long as we do that, we going to thrive. As long as we do that, we going to prosper. Now give me Deuteronomy. Then we're going to pull up the video. Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 4.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 4.
Go ahead.
Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord, and thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart, and thou shalt teach them diligently.
And thou shalt what?
And thou shalt teach them diligently.
God says you're supposed to teach your children diligently, right? And how you say the word diligently? Yes, sir. You're supposed to teach them diligently. You know I was raised Judah, man. I can't pronounce words like that.
You got it, Cap.
We supposed to teach them diligently. Go ahead.
And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children.
Unto thy children.
And shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house.
When thou sittest in thy house, you're supposed to talk of the law. You're supposed to talk of the Bible. Go ahead.
And when thou walkest by the way.
And when thou walkest by the way. Go ahead.
And when thou liest down. And when thou risest up.
Go ahead.
And thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thine hand.
So God said we're supposed to teach our kids the law, the Bible. We're supposed to teach them the heritage. Why? We didn't, you know what's crazy? We didn't wait till little Pookie learned how to read before we bought him a Christmas gift. We didn't wait for give me a black girl name, Bonquisha. We didn't wait for Bonquisha to learn how to walk before we bought her a birthday gift, before we bought her a Christmas gift. We didn't do that. So while we waiting for Lil Ray Ray and JoJo to get to 5th grade before we start teaching them the Bible? No, it make no sense. That makes no sense at all. Oh, they don't comprehend. Oh, but in the world, on their first birthday, you bought them a gift. They celebrated every Christmas before they even knew your name.
Some parents even will throw a first month party after birth.
Damn.
Yeah.
1 month? You been born for 1 month and we celebrate. That's some crazy stuff, man. That's some crazy stuff. Where we at?
Verse 8.
We at? Okay, that's it. So, hey, pull up the first video. Pull up the first video. America's Super Nanny. This is something. I remember now we going to discipline your kids, right? We're going to discipline your kids. This is how some of y'all kids is at the house, man. And put it up. Go ahead, play that thing. You got it? Go ahead, pull it up.
Tonight on America's Super Nanny Family Lockdown. A single mother is struggling to raise her family alone.
Honey.
Leave me alone!
You have to do the work.
The entire family is reeling from a divorce.
You can trust me, I'm telling you.
No, I can't.
Until this family can heal.
Right now, what you're gonna do is take your first step in taking control back of your house.
They'll be under my lockdown.
No.
I'm Jane, and I have 5 kids.
Now pause it. Somebody said, "Oh, that's an Edomite. That's a well, they daddy black." All right, they daddy is Judah. They black. All right, go ahead. And you know, this is how some of y'all raise your kids. It's like this Edomite raise her kids. Go ahead and play it.
Rated about 2 years ago.
Get up again, you're gonna be in your room. Shut up.
Aaliyah. It's been the hardest 2 years I've ever had. Over the years that we were married, Dad took care of the discipline. And I wanted to raise the kids under a love-based approach, but that just hasn't worked very well for me.
Stop! I want to raise the kids off of a love-based approach. That's how some of y'all think. Some of y'all think that babying your kids is love. That ain't love, man. I want to raise the kids off of, what is that? What she said? A love-based approach. So what she said was that their father didn't show them love. Go ahead. Let it play.
My family gets all crazy and obnoxious and psycho.
Get back in bed.
Jane, the mom, is struggling to do it on her own. Oldest sister Brianne is moody and rules the roost.
Mom! Don't touch me. I'm going to lose it.
And Isaiah is shattered by the divorce.
I feel very, very sad.
As soon as the divorce happened, he turned into a different kid. An angry kid, a kid who was swearing, a kid who didn't respect me.
You're out. Trying to trip him and you're being so stubborn. Come on. I said. You're grounded.
Awkward.
Then there's Aaliyah. She's a ticking time bomb.
Can I see? Can I see? Can I see? Can I see?
She's like fireworks. She's everywhere. Boom, boom, boom.
Sicko!
While Ariel is just trying to fit in.
A new family game.
Ariel's a joke.
Harry.
And youngest Isaac is a handful.
What did I say? If you get up again, you're going to your room. Why are you laughing now?
Isaac's just like a...
Damn, stop!
Isaac!
Damn! Hey, rewind that back. Did he just spit on his mother? There was some of y'all deal with at the house, but you try to not tell nobody. Your kid's unruly as hell. You don't tell nobody. Go ahead, play that thing back.
You're going to your room.
The little kid saying,
why are you laughing now?
Oh!
Isaac.
I can't believe, bro. Oh, my God. Oh, this little kid spit on his mother. I don't give a damn shit anybody die. This little kid spit on his mother, man. Oh, my goodness. Go ahead and let it play. Still pissing me off, man. I just want to whoop his ass. Go ahead and play.
Just like a psycho.
Isaac!
At bedtime, Isaac is a challenge for me. I'm really tired at the end of a long day, and I'd really like him to stay in bed.
Why are you out of bed? Go to bed. Get out of my room.
Get back in bed.
I don't want to.
Ugh.
It's really hard to get a break. It's really hard to get some time to myself.
Blah, 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 blah.
These kids have had a lot of change in their life, as have I. And it makes me really sad that they don't enjoy each other.
Why you gotta be so mean?
Shut up. Stop! Don't put any of your crap on mine. When all 5 of us are together, you have a very slappable head. It's like the house explodes. Thinks you're gonna get out my mom, but not help me. Where's my pizza?
I really need that help.
Woo! All right, man, let's get to the scripture because they pissing me off right now. Get Sirach. No, matter of fact, get Sirach 17. Sirach 17 and verse 16. For all you that think your kids is just magnificent. Is that what I want? 17 to 16, sorry. Yeah, read that.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 17, verse 16.
Go ahead.
Every man from his youth is given to evil.
Read that again.
Every man from his youth.
From his youth.
Is given to evil.
God says your kids are evil, man. These little badass kids are evil. Now get Sirach 30. Get Sirach chapter 30. We're going to read the whole chapter tonight. Lord's will, we have time. 30 and 1, you know I won't.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 30 and verse 1.
Discipline your kids, y'all. Discipline your kids. Watch this.
He that loveth his son causeth him oft to feel the rod.
Oft. Can we look up that definition of oft, O-F-T? Let's look at that definition. That's not a common, I don't want to say Negro word. It's not a common Israelite word. I'll say that. Let's look that word up. Oft. You got it? Go ahead and put it up. It's oh damn, you know I can't. Or jocular form of often. Often. Let's click that word. Let's click that word often. Maybe you think often is once a year. Frequently, go down to the synonyms. Frequently, many times, repeatedly, again and again, time and again. Time and time again, time after time, over and over, all the time. Damn! All the time, regularly, continually, usually, habitually, commonly, generally, as often as not. hey, look at the antonyms. Rarely. In certain times, well, I ain't disciplined my kid. I'm like, man, y'all do for a butt whooping. Because God says do it all the time. Usually, oftentimes, lots, oft times, right? Go back to the scripture and read that again, verse 1.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 30 and verse 1. He that loveth his son.
He that loveth his son. This goes to the women as well.
Causeth him oft.
Often means regularly, all the time, time after time often, regularly, all the time. Go ahead.
To feel the rod.
To feel the rod. Damn. God says all the time. Why? Because kids are going to do things that if you don't check it, it's going to become unchecked and it's going to become a very big problem. I'll give you an example. Put that video up that I just posted on the group, please. I'll give you an example. Say what? Yes. I'll give you an example. This is what happens when you don't check it. You don't check the stuff that you're supposed to check. This is what happens. You got it? Look at this, y'all. Look, man, this is crazy. Look at this. Pause it, pause it, pause it. Israel, is y'all seeing this? This is make you just said, damn. That's bad, man. This is sad. Remember, the nations know that if they keep us like this, they'll always win. So you telling me out of all the parents, the fathers, the mothers that's in that building, nobody is correcting that?
They cheering them on at those events.
They cheering them on, teaching them how to. The little girl, hey, rewind it. I want you to try to pause when the little girl stuck her tongue out. You know what I'm talking about, right? You saw it? Go back. I'm going to show y'all something, man. They imitating what they see. Go ahead. You got to be very, just pay attention. Go ahead. Keep going. Keep going. No, keep going. It's coming up. Right here. Pause it. Right. Go back a little bit. Right there. Hey, I'm going to tell y'all something. Keep that on the screen. All the little girls need their ass whooped. I'm going to just be real with you. All of them, their mama need their ass whooped. Their daddy need his ass whooped. Their aunties and uncles, whoever allowed this, need to get their ass whooped for real. This is a decay. This is why our nation is a decayed state. Why the nations know if they keep us like this, if they keep our daughters like this, and our men like gangsters and killing and drugs, and we'll never get ahead. So go back to the scripture and read verse 1 again.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 30 and verse 1. He that loveth his son causeth him oft to feel the rod.
And you know what? And you know what's crazy? Your daughters, they have no other option but that. Outside of God's correction, outside of you giving discipline to your children, your daughters have no other way but that. Even if they say, I'm a good girl. Oh, okay. You was a good girl compared to Nicki Minaj's. You were still fast. You were still out there. You were still getting it in. That's why it's very important for us as parents, as mothers and fathers, to teach. Remember we read in Deuteronomy 6? Teach our children the law and also discipline them when they go off. Go ahead. Keep reading.
He that loveth his son causeth him oft to feel the rod.
Go ahead.
That he may have joy of him in the end.
That joy is knowing that your daughter won't be this. Your daughter won't be none of that. And she will teach her daughter to not be none of that. And she will teach her daughter to not be none of that. Pull up the next video. Pull up the, let me see. Where, hold up. What do I have before that? That's something I got. Yes, pull up that. Pull up that right there. Play that thing. So this is Kodak Black dancing with his mother, right? Remember now, God says, have them off to feel the rod. Watch this, play it. Skip it a little bit. Skip it. Right there. Kiss mom on the mouth. Go ahead. Skip a little bit. Right there. Mike, this is mama, y'all. Driving his mama butt. Stop. Kodak Black needs his ass whooped. I'm just gonna be real about it. The man kissing his mom on the mouth, smoking, blowing smoke on it, and then he grabbing the butt. That's some nasty stuff, man. He has become her husband. He has become her man. But you know what's crazy? We're gonna read that. I want you to jump down in verse 9.
Sirach chapter 30 and verse 9.
Go ahead.
Conquer thy child, and he shall make thee afraid.
Watch this.
Play with him.
Do what?
Play with him.
Go ahead.
And he will bring thee to heaviness.
Play now. The Most High is saying, don't laugh with your children. Don't laugh and dope with them and play with them. What he's saying is, don't allow them to cross that line. Don't allow them to cross that line. Meaning you play with them. You know, black folks always say, don't play with me. You ain't in the mood. Don't play with me right now. You know, that's like the Judite line right there. Don't play with me. I'll tear your butt up. God says don't play with your kids. Meaning you don't wink at their sin. You don't wink at their evil deeds. You don't just say, oh, he's just a kid. Because what happens is they grow up to do that. They grow up to don't respect their elders. That's why we went over this the other week. That's why in today's time, you see the younger generation, and I say younger generation like I'm not young, but you know what I'm talking about. You see the Generation Zs. They don't have no respect for nobody, man. Nobody. They'll blow your head off. Don't give a doggone how old you are, how young you are. What do you mean to the community? Nothing. Why? Because the people that raised them laughed with them, joke with them, cockered them. That is good to say. Get the definition of cocker. Now, if the boot fit, you got to wear it. The boot fit, and only you know if it fit. We don't know. We don't know. You know if it fit. If your child is just unruly as hell, don't listen. You ain't disciplined your child since they came out the womb. How do you expect them to take heed to the law of God? How do you expect them to look at you as a leader? To look at you as the authority in the house when you haven't shown it? You got it? That's it? Cocker? Why are you laughing, bro? You gonna say something, soldier?
No, I was just saying that was heavy what you said about he saw her or she saw him as her husband almost, because a lot of single mothers will have sons
Bring it out.
that'll make the league, and you'll think they married. How he kind of give back to her as far as gifts and stuff like that.
Yep, absolutely. And for him to feel like he can do all those things, touch his mother's butt, kiss her all in the mouth, she made him feel like he's the father, the breadwinner. You got it? Go ahead, pull it up. Go ahead, read that, soldier.
Merriam-Webster definition of cocker. Let's see. Indulge. Pamper.
Pamper. That's the one we wrote right there. Click on pamper.
Definition of pamper. To treat with extreme or excessive care and attention.
Damn. To treat with extreme or excessive. That's above and beyond care. That's excessive. God says too much. God says when you treat your children with extreme and over excessive care and attention, God says you conquering them. Because what's happening? Not only are you over caring, but you over care to the point where you're not supplying discipline. Yes, caring for your children is beautiful. You're supposed to. But not to the point where you don't supply discipline. Remember we read in Baruch, the Lord say he disciplined us not to destroy us, but because we moved him to anger. It's the same aspect in a household with a mother, a father, or you may have both, you may not have both. You're supposed to love your children to the point where you want to discipline them to teach them the right way. Without discipline, your children will not make it in this world with no discipline. Because if you don't discipline them, that white man with a badge is going to discipline his ass. Nicki Minaj is going to discipline your daughter. And next thing you know, she's going to be thinking she can whoop you. You see that a lot in ghettos and hoods. When a mother and a daughter can actually go to blows, can actually fist fight. Why? Because that mother been conquering the daughter for a long time. And now it's come back to bite in the butt, and now she's making her afraid. Read on.
Verse 10. Laugh not with him, lest thou have sorrow with him.
Laugh not. You know that laugh not means? That means you're laughing when things have crossed the line. Some parents play fight with their children. Some parents, do things with their children, and their child don't know the boundaries. Your child is not born with knowing your boundary. You have to teach them that. But if you don't teach them a boundary, they'll never stop going. They will always go above and beyond until it's too late. That's that laugh not, right? Laugh not with your child, meaning don't laugh at them crossing that boundary. Don't laugh it off. You see a little girl and a little boy. You know what's crazy? Even in Israel, some of y'all ain't right, man. Some of y'all ain't right. Y'all will see a little 3-year-old boy and a little 3-year-old little girl, 2-year-old little girl in the congregation. And y'all will see them around each other. You'll see them around each other all the time. You'll see them hug each other. You'll see them do things that you know little kids ain't supposed to be doing. but you would laugh it off. Oh, that's so cute. That's so cute. That ain't cute. A lot of y'all sisters, man, a lot of y'all sisters, even some of y'all brothers ain't right. Y'all know their father, their mother wouldn't allow that to happen, but you want to form a relationship with a child so you allow them to do the things that you know their parents don't allow them to do. And you know that. That's some evil stuff, man. That's some evil stuff. You are teaching the child to be rebellious when their parents aren't looking. You are teaching the child to go against the order when they're not around their parents. If this father gives an order and this mother gives an order, I'm going to abide by the order. Because at the end of the day, these are their children. And I love them, and I want their children to prosper. So I'm going to remain in the same mindset as the mother and father. Some of y'all don't do that. Some of y'all don't do that. Tell you, don't give my kid no candy. Don't give my children no gum, no candy. Don't let my children hold your phone because they're going to break it. What do? You take them to the back and give them your phone. Here you go. Here, it's okay. What the hell are you doing? Next day, they're on YouTube looking at all types of crap. Next thing you know, they're in the back room choking off of candy. Or you done gave them something that they're allergic to. How can you justify that? How can you justify? You can't. Like I said, that's some evil stuff. And you know who you are. There's a bunch of y'all out there that don't listen. You want to form a damn relationship with a 5-year-old child. You crazy. Read on.
Laugh not with him,
go ahead,
lest thou have sorrow with him, and lest thou gnash thy teeth in the end.
Go ahead.
Give him no liberty.
God says give him no liberty.
In his youth.
Go ahead.
And wink not at his follies.
Wink not at his follies. Wink not. You know, we read in Maccabees about the mother with the 7 sons. Now it talks about the troubles of education. That troubles of education comes with discipline. It don't mention the father. We don't know what happened to the father. Maybe the father, was put to death a long time ago for standing up for the law. We don't know. But we know that at that point of their deaths, they looked to their mother for encouragement. Their mother didn't say, no, baby, just eat the pork. Just eat it. No, the mother didn't say that. The mother said, hey, stand tall. Stand for the law. Don't worry about it. I've raised you to deal with this. That takes discipline. To teach a child to die for the laws of God, that took some discipline. That took a few butt whoopings. I guarantee you that. Because you had to install that fear in them of God. You don't install fear of God by, God says don't do this. Kids are gonna automatically do what you tell them not to do. And how do you instill that fear of God in them? You discipline them. You give them things to do, whether it be chores, so they're not idle. And we're going to read that. But ultimately, you do what God tell you to do. Read the next verse.
Bow down his neck while he is young.
While he is young, while she is young, bow down their neck. That means you put them into subjection. You don't wink at their follies. You don't let them get away with things. And you could tell the ones that get away with things. You could tell the ones that at the house, they don't respect you. It's been times in the school, you hear little kids, how they talk sometimes. I don't know about y'all. We brought this up. I don't know about y'all, but growing up, it was a yes, sir, yes, ma'am. No, sir, no, ma'am. You couldn't even say what. You couldn't even say, huh. You know somebody call you, huh? What? You got slapped in the face, man. You couldn't even say huh and not get up. Let you say something and not get up and come see what I want. You got slapped in the face. And you better move quick, too. You better move quick. Back then, if grown-ups was in the room and you walked in the room, you didn't say a word. You immediately walked the hell out. Today, you got little kids that come in and look you right in your mouth and then comment on your conversation. Kids don't have that respect these days. Why? Because the parents are not teaching them that respect. The parents is trying to have that love. What you say? That love-based approach. I want to raise my child in a love-based approach. Joel Osteen's way. Timeouts only. 30-minute timeout, an hour timeout. Hell no, I take a timeout to whoop your ass. That's what I do. I'll whoop your ass, take a timeout, and come back under the timeout and continue to beat your ass. That's the timeouts I do. That's the timeouts I do. I don't give timeouts. I take timeouts. Read on. Read verse 12 again.
Bow down his neck while he is young.
Go ahead.
And beat him on the sides.
And do what?
And beat him.
And do what?
And beat him.
God says beat him, read.
On the sides.
And beat him on the sides. Now, some of y'all, it's either you, I don't know. Israel's amazing. Some of y'all don't do it at all, but some of y'all do it too bad. So some of y'all get metal pipes and beat your kids with metal pipes. God, where in the Bible does it say beat your kid with a metal pipe? Please show me that. And here at Israel United in Christ, we don't condone no mother or father beating their kid with a metal pipe. We ain't never taught that. We ain't never taught that. And honestly, if I was a father, your ass would be called the police on. I'm calling the police. I'm being real. If I catch you beating my kid with a metal pipe, I'm calling the police on your ass. I'm going to tell you straight. Because what happens is, if you don't check that stuff, this is why fathers are very important in the family. Fathers are very important. Why? Because a father can supply discipline and not be emotionally attached to that discipline. Meaning I can discipline you and still love you the very same. Mothers gonna supply emotionally attachment to that discipline. So they disciplining you and they hurting themselves too. Nah, not fathers. Fathers discipline you and they don't feel a thing. That's why you need men. Especially you single mothers with sons. Single mothers, bring your sons to the leadership. Allow the leadership to teach them how to be a man. Because there's no way a single mother can teach her son how to be a man. It's not possible. It's not possible. There's always somewhere down the line where men had to come in and assist this mother in raising her son. Get the next video. We almost done. Get the next video. Lord's will, next week we'll have our IT game on point. So we ain't got to cut it short no more. All right? Omar? Appreciate you, bro. Hey, brother, you doing good, man. Oh, you came a long way, man. All praise to the Most. Hey, so this is what happens, right? I don't know if y'all heard of this chick, Michelle Blair. She killed her daughter and her son because they were both molesting their younger brother. And she killed them. Play it.
Miss Blair, what did you do to Stony Blair that makes you guilty of premeditated murder?
She raped my son. I intentionally killed her.
How did you do that?
Starting from the beginning, when I found out about what Stony was doing, it was 9 months later after finding out about Stephen. So for the whole 9 months we were in the house, she was still raping my child. I did not know that. When I first found out, after told me, I took a minute because I was not understanding, that she did that to him. But I repeatedly punched her. On many occasions, my son, I told him to tell me every single thing she did to him. So as she was telling me, he was telling me more and more things that she did. I assaulted her every time he told me what she did to him. By assault, I mean I punched her. I have put a bag over her head till she lost consciousness. I threw hot water on her, scalding hot water from the faucet.
Did you hit her in the head with a wooden stick?
Yes, I hit her in her head multiple times, over and over.
Was that shortly before she died?
That was actually days before she died and the day she died.
Okay.
I hit her on her back. It's like with her tailbone. I kicked her.
Okay, I just want to clarify a few things. And perhaps you don't know, but did this happen on or about May 25th, 2014? To the
May
best of your recollection?
25th is actually the day she died. Well, the day I killed her.
And you said you killed her by putting a grocery bag over her head?
Yes, that day would tell me different things because she was doing this to him for years, and I did not know that. You get what I'm saying? And I didn't find out till 9 months later. She had started with Stephen. She ruined my son, okay? She started with Stephen before he even started. So, yes, I put a bag over her head, but it got worse that day. Yes, I did. It got worse that day because he would tell me how she would take her pad, her menstrual pad, and squeeze her blood out in his mouth, okay? And it was over with after that. It was over with.
You meant to kill her?
I definitely meant to kill her.
Okay. It wasn't an accident?
No, not at all.
Okay.
If I had a chance to do it again, I would.
When you went and got the grocery bag and suffocated her, that was your intent?
Yes. She was standing in the bathtub. I was throwing hot water on her. My son was standing to my right outside the bathroom door, and he was telling me everything he was telling me. I looked at her, and I'm like, "You did this?" And she was like, "Yes." So I actually had a stick, and I was hitting her in the head. Every time he told me something, I hit her very hard in her head, and I was throwing hot water on her. And when I actually took her out of the bathroom, I took her back in her room, and I just kept staring at her, and I said, excuse my language, to him, just like, you know, I'm constantly asking her. She kept saying, "I hate him." And I'm like, "You hate him?" You know? And she admitted to me that she hated Stephen. She hated everybody. And I'm asking her why. She says, everybody always think so cute. And I'm like, so you brother, because you get what I'm saying. So I meant to. I definitely meant to. And I do not feel any remorse for what I did to Stoney, because she had no remorse for what she did to my son. And it's not only raped him, she gang raped him with Stephen. We're all sitting on the floor, and he was telling me, this is how I found out about both of them doing it together. But it was too late. Stephen was gone. But told me that Stoney would actually make him sit there while, in his words, her and Stoney did the nasty stuff, and then they did it to him. And
so this was your way of inflicting punishment?
Definitely.
Okay. Okay. Where did that happen?
What?
Where did it?
The death.
Her actual death?
Yes.
Not
the location of the house. Where did you live at the time?
Oh.
Is that in the city of Detroit?
Yes.
Okay.
Your Honor,
go ahead.
Can we ask Ms. Blair if she ever actually saw or witnessed any of these acts with regard to Stoney or Stephen?
Okay. Yeah. Did you ever actually see anything of any sexual abuse of any kind between either Stephen and Stoney?
I reject her question, but I will answer it because no one will say that this did not happen, because it actually did.
I just want to have a clear record, because so far all you've told me was that you just heard it. Did you ever?
And that they admitted it. No, I did not. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I understand.
But as I went back in my head and thought back to all the many things that was wrong, you over the years, and I'm like, that's what was wrong with you? He'll use the bathroom and say, Mom, my butt hurts when I poop. I don't know. So I started giving him 100% juice to make his stool softer, maybe to help him use that. That wasn't the problem. It wasn't his stool. It was that he was being raped, okay? My son looked me in my eyes, and he gave me a very detailed account of everything they did. Was not a violent boy. He is a very sweet little boy. So for him to stand there and look at me and say, do it again, he was hurting. You know?
Okay.
At a certain point, I told him to stop talking. And I said, Stoney, you tell me what to my son. And I said, if she say anything that's not right, tell me. She started telling me many things. And I also asked her, so why didn't Stephen tell me that when I asked him, did anybody do this to him? Why didn't he tell me that you did it to him? Because Stoney was going upstairs, beating Stephen's ass, threatening him. Basically, at a certain point, after I was hitting Stephen, I didn't want to look at him. I didn't want to look at him, so I told him to go to his room. When it came time to eat, I didn't want to take no food up, so I sent Stoney up because she volunteered, not knowing at that time that Stoney was raping either of them. But every time she went upstairs, I wouldn't have known if she hit him or not because I had put many bruises on him. So every time she went upstairs, she admitted to me that she was hitting him also, knocking the hell out of him, telling him, you better not tell her nothing.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
I understand. When she admitted these things to you, were you always being physical with her?
The first time, no. We were sitting there.
Okay.
She denied it constantly. I'm like, Stoney, you better tell me sitting here. He don't know nothing about it.
All right. I thought it was like a 4-minute video. What's the next video? I thought I had a shorter video than that. So the sister ended up killing her daughter and her son because they both was raping the little brother. It should be another video, right? Okay, that's the one I want you to play. That's the one. Now, mind you, did she discipline them? Yes. Did she do it the way God told her to do it? Hell no. Hell no. She didn't do it the way God told her to do it. All right? Hold that. Get 2 Ezra 5 and 8 real quick. We almost done. This goes for y'all that don't discipline your kids and for y'all that discipline them like a damn mad person. 2 Ezra 5 and 8, right? Go ahead.
The book of 2 Esdras, chapter 5 and verse 8. There shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be oft sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and menstruous women
and evil women, ungodly women, go ahead,
shall bring forth monsters.
Shall bring forth monsters. This sister, and when you follow her, this happened a while back. But all of her baby daddies were out of the picture. All of them. They were gone, out of the picture. She brought forth monsters. Her daughter was raping, molesting, beating her sons. Then one of her sons that she killed was having sex with the older sister. And then they both would gang rape the little brother with brooms and all types of stuff. These were monsters, man. These were monsters. But that's because the mother was a mistress woman. Isaiah 3 and 12. So you got to do it the right way. Remember, we read it Deuteronomy 5, Deuteronomy 6. You got to teach them diligently, teach them the law diligently. We went to Sirach 30. Discipline them often. Teach them. Don't allow stuff like this to happen. Don't be, what's the word? Don't be beating your kids with a damn metal rod. But don't cocker your child as well. You got to find that balance of discipline. You got to find that balance of discipline because if you don't do it, the world going to do it. And if the world got to do it, they ain't going to have no mercy on your child. Go ahead and read that real quick. We almost done.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 3 and verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them.
God says children are our oppressors, and women rule over them. What type of women? Mistress women rule over those oppressive children. Go to what I say, Ephesians, right? Yeah. Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 1. Start at verse 1. We're gonna read to verse 4, and then we're gonna leave. We're gonna be out.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 1. Children, obey your parents in the Lord.
Go ahead.
For this is right.
Go ahead.
Honor thy father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise, that it may be well with thee, and thou mayest live long on the earth.
Go ahead.
And ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord.
Read that again.
And ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath.
God says, provoke not your children to wrath. That ain't saying don't get them angry. That's saying provoke them not to God's wrath. Because when you provoke them to God's wrath, the Most High gonna judge they behind, put them to death. That's why you install that discipline in them early. Like the scriptures say, bow down their necks early so that they don't be subject to God's wrath. Is that it?
No, sir.
Go ahead.
And ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath,
Go ahead.
but bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord.
Bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. All right. So all praise to the Most High. I know it was a little short little class, just something that, just something to think about. We must discipline our kids, y'all. We must discipline our kids. I don't see it enough. I don't see it enough. I really don't see it enough. We need to discipline our children. Not just discipline them, but love, nurture them, love them, care for them, But we have to add that discipline in it. We have to, because if we don't do it, they got evil, wickedness waiting on them out there in the world. They got songs that's promoting little kids gang banging, dope dealing, having sex, movies. I mean, we could have did a whole 4-hour class on this, man. Discipline your children, Israel. This is no joke. This is no joke. Discipline your kids, all right? One more scripture before I go. James 4 and 14, all right? James 4 and 14. And we got fix your face coming up.
James chapter 4 and verse 14.
Go ahead.
Whereas ye know not what shall be on the morrow.
We know not what shall be tomorrow. Go ahead.
For what is your life?
What is your life? Go ahead.
It is even a vapor.
It is a what?
It is even a vapor.
God says our lives are like vapor. When vapor comes, it just goes. I mean, it's here and it's gone forever. Vapor. God says our lives are like vapor. Go ahead.
It is even a vapor that appeareth for a little time.
Go ahead.
And then vanisheth away.
And then vanisheth away. Go ahead.
For that ye ought to say, if the Lord will.
If the Lord will.
We shall live and do this or that.
So the reason why I point this out is because we must keep that mindset. We must pray for each other daily. Don't take nothing for granted, y'all. Don't take each other for granted. Don't take this truth for granted. Don't take your position for granted. Why? Because God said our life is like vapor. We may be here today and gone tomorrow. All right? So don't forget to pray for our leadership, our bishops, our deacons, our captains, officers, soldiers, brothers, women, children, newborn babies, babies to come. Remember, we're the only people that God listening to. We're the only people that can actually talk to God. The ones that's keeping the commandments and the faith in Christ, who know who they is in the Bible. That's it. All right? So all praise to the Most High Israel. Don't forget, remember, our lives is like vapor. Don't take it for granted. All right? And discipline your damn kids. Right. Happy Sabbath, Israel. Happy Sabbath. I'm Captain Gaddard to my left.
Soldier Key said.
All praise to the Most High. With that, we say shalom.